The Newshour Special Edition.
Good evening, you're watching Times Now, the Newshour Special Edition. I'm Pratibha Chandran. Thank you for joining us this Sunday evening. Viewers, today Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the Somnath Temple in a moment almost as significant as the Ram Mandir moment. He reaffirmed India's rich civilizational heritage. The Prime Minister's message was one of courage of our ancestors and the enduring spirit of India that has survived centuries of attacks and adversity. But why is the Prime Minister's appeal to citizens to take pride in our civilizational identity causing political flutter? Why is the opposition opposed to India's civilizational awakening? Is it the old vote bank politics? That's our first debate, and it's very simple. Why can't India's Prime Minister celebrate our history and culture without being accused of making a show of it? That's debate number one. In the next leg of the broadcast, we talk about what's happening in Iran. We tell you why the uprising in Iran is a global headline, what it means for India's interests, and also where the US and Trump in particular come in here.
जय सोमनाथ, जय सोमनाथ। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर
So those were some of the key highlights. Let's tell you why today is so important. It's been 1,000 years since the time Somnath Temple in Gujarat came under attack for the first time. Multiple attempts were made through these years by foreign invaders to target this temple and uproot its existence. But each time when the temple was faced with threats, there were people who stood and defended the temple with exemplary courage, some even sacrificing their lives for the cause. As the nation marks Somnath Swabhiman Parv, the Prime Minister visited the ancient temple, the first of the 12 sacred Jyotirlingas today, and honored the defenders of the ancient temple. Leading the Shaurya Yatra, the Prime Minister hailed Somnath as the living proof of India's courage, resilience and spiritual power. The Prime Minister also invoked the temple's turbulent history to deliver a strong political and cultural message, saying India's civilizational strength had endured despite repeated attempts to erase it. He also called out attempts by some to erase history and deny due recognition to those who fought to save Somnath Temple. The Prime Minister said that those with a slave mentality tried to whitewash the religiously motivated attacks on Somnath Temple for the sake of appeasement politics. Without really taking the name, the Prime Minister also said that such forces knelt before religious extremism. Citing an example, he in fact also recalled how Sardar Patel's pledge to rebuild the Somnath Temple was met with opposition from certain quarters.
दुर्भाग्य से आजादी के बाद गुलामी की मानसिकता वाले लोगों ने उनसे पल्ला झाड़ने की कोशिश की। उस इतिहास को भुलाने के कुत्सित प्रयास हुए, बल्कि आक्रमण के इतिहास को भी कुछ इतिहासकारों और राजनेताओं द्वारा व्हाइट वॉश करने की कोशिश की गई। मजहबी उन्माद की मानसिकता को केवल साधारण लूट बताकर ढंकने के लिए किताबें लिखी गई। तुष्टीकरण के ठेकेदारों ने हमेशा इस कट्टरपंथी सोच के आगे घुटने टेके। जब भारत गुलामी की बेड़ियों से मुक्त हुआ, जब सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल ने सोमनाथ के पुनर्निर्माण की शपथ ली, तो उन्हें भी रोकने की कोशिश की गई। 1951 में तत्कालीन राष्ट्रपति डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद के यहां आने पर भी आपत्ति जताई गई। दुर्भाग्य से आज भी हमारे देश में वो ताकतें मौजूद है, पूरी तरह सक्रिय है, जिन्होंने सोमनाथ पुनर्निर्माण का विरोध किया। आज तलवारों की जगह दूसरे कुत्सित तरीकों से भारत के खिलाफ षड्यंत्र हो रहे हैं। हमें एक रहना है, एकजुट रहना है, ऐसी हर ताकत को हराना है जो हमें बांटने की साजिश रच रही है।
So here was the Prime Minister's message. He spoke about the cultural pride of India, and while the Prime Minister hailed Somnath's resilience and stressed on unity, the opposition was quick to question the Prime Minister's show of devotion. Targeting the Prime Minister over his Somnath visit and his message, the opposition leaders dubbed him a Behrupia or an imposter, accusing him of blaming Nehru for everything and making an event out of his temple visit.
ये माँ गंगा है, ये माँ गंगा को पवित्र हम मानते हैं। ये गंगा पुत्र है मोदी, और ये कभी वहां जाकर सोमनाथ में त्रिशूल लहराएंगे, कभी बाबा विश्वनाथ के दरबार में बाबा विश्वनाथ का मोहरी पहन लेंगे। मैं समझता हूं कि देश के लोग निश्चित तौर से इनको समझ चुके हैं कि हमारा प्रधानमंत्री बहुरूपिया है।
संविधान में सबको अपने धर्म को मानने की आजादी है। हम भी हज करने जाते हैं, हम भी उम्रा करने जाते हैं, हमें उसके महिमा मंडन की जरूरत तो थी नहीं कोई भी। हर चीज के लिए नेहरू जिम्मेदार, आप भी जिम्मेदार बनोगे नहीं बनोगे।
Now let's get you another shocker. The Congress leader Udit Raj took to controversy with his post on X, in which he claimed that the Somnath temple was not looted but was made to be looted. The BJP pounced on the Congress leader for his remark, accusing him of trying to justify the loot and plunder carried out by invaders.
उदित राज कांग्रेस के बड़े नेता बोलते हैं कि सोमनाथ मंदिर को तोड़ा और डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं किया गया, लूटा नहीं गया, लुटवाया गया। मतलब अब बाबर और गजनी की भी व्हाइट वॉशिंग कांग्रेस पार्टी आज भी कर रही है। इसमें भी हिंदुओं को ही दोष दिया जा रहा है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी हिंदुओं के मंदिर पर हुए अतिक्रमण को जस्टिफाई कर रही है। ये बात को स्पष्ट करता है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के लिए उसके आदर्श बाबर, औरंगजेब और गजनी है, और कांग्रेस पार्टी आक्रांताओं समर्थक पार्टी है, ना कि हिंदुओं के समर्थन की पार्टी है।
Of course, drawing flack, the Congress leader clarified on his remarks and claimed that he was not really justifying what happened with the Somnath temple. He was not justifying the demolition. That's what he went on to claim. But the questions still remain. Let me introduce guests who are joining us this evening on the politics around the Prime Minister's visit and why this is a very, very important moment for India. Let me go across to Sai Swarupa Iyer ji, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Before I get into the politics of it and we talk about what the opposition leaders have said, Sai Swarupa ji, I want you to tell us why this moment is extremely important. Some saying, why make a show of it? The Prime Minister visited, he spoke about the civilization of the country and how we have stood against every attack for thousands of years.
Civilizationally, I think there is a lot that has been discussed in the last 2 days about how this moment is civilizationally important, Pratibhaji, because of course it's such a empowering, self-empowering moment for every Indian to say 1,000 years back, some guy from Ghazni came and looted, killed people. I mean, Veer Hamir Gohil's statue is there. He died defending the temple at the age of 17 or something, I guess. So then, I think, Khiljis came and destroyed it, whatever was built after that. Then there was Aurangzeb, then there was Gujarat Sultanate, the Nawab of Gujarat Sultanate himself, who was trying to end, so Somnath stands as an example of something, it's a phoenix-like phenomenon. We'll stand up, how many of our times, the number doesn't matter, the attacks don't matter, we'll stand up. And of course, the date happens to be tight, it's 1,000 years later, the temple stands strong, while the region from where those invaders came from, they are languishing.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us. You know, it's a very big moment, yes, but the question is, why is there politics even playing out over it? And that's what we want to ask. The Congress party has long been accused of being anti-Hindu, both in action and words. And today, as the Prime Minister spoke about it, these statements from multiple Congress leaders have proven exactly that. Thank you for joining us. Let me introduce other guests joining us this evening. Rohan Gupta, national spokesperson of the BJP. Ratan Sharda, author. We have Umair Junaidi, political analyst. Dr. Nikhil Patel from the Congress party, and Dr. Pooja Mishra, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. And Dr. Nikhil Patel, I want to begin with you, not just what Udit Raj has said, but we've seen multiple such attempts to play down the Prime Minister's visit. Why?
Firstly, I would like to say the analogy made by our Honorable Prime Minister is not correct, because if you see the Somnath as a symbol, it's going to let us know, every Indian feel proud that whenever invaders are from outside country had targeted us, we have tried to build ourselves, rebuild ourselves and become strong. I think Congress at the time of independence, Sardar Patel taken a pledge to rebuild it, and the Jirnoddhar of that temple was taken, and we all know what happened, and it has happened during the Congress regime and it is still standing strong.
But we all also know what Pandit Nehru had written about it, Dr. Nikhil Patel.
Secondly, I think Sardar Patel was also from Congress. Rajendra Prasad ji was also from Congress. I don't think that should not be brought on an analogy on that. Secondly, I would like to say Pradhan Mantri is quoting regarding the internal conflicts. People from inside. I think I don't understand when a Somnath is a symbol for invaders who are coming from outside. We all stand together and we are here. Then why Pradhan Mantri wants to do politics over the internal things, which is
no, I want to ask you, are you in agreement with Pandit Nehru or not? Because it seems from your answers that you're disassociating from what he said. I just want to read out for our viewers as well. Pandit Nehru had written to Rajendra Prasad, I confess that I do not like the idea of you associating yourself with the spectacular opening of the Somnath temple. So what is your stand from the Congress party?
I think you should revisit the statement made by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and there is no such, even though Rajendra Prasad had gone to Jirnoddhar, he had done it. I think that is a history and that cannot be anyone change. Congress had helped temple management to rebuild that temple to the present state, so that we can have a symbolic Somnath, so which everyone is proud.
If was not opposed to it, then why are you opposed to Prime Minister Modi going now? Why are leaders from your party now saying that this is performative?
I think nobody is opposing Pradhan Mantri going to anywhere in the country. He is the Prime Minister of our country. The only thing he is making a wrong analogy by putting country's people into question mark, rather than Somnath is a symbol of invaders who comes from outside. Okay. If he is talking of Pakistan or some Mughal emperor or right now America who is imposing tariff on us and we are standing against that tariff, then it would be good. Rather than just criticizing Congress for everything is not good. That is what we are opposing right now.
Okay, so the Congress leaders have called him Behrupiya. You're saying that's not the case. Umar Junaidi, any objection to the Prime Minister visiting the temple, or you think that all the opposition leaders who have made statements against it was just for the sake of it? Why do you think the opposition leaders had a problem with the Prime Minister's visit?
The problem is with Narendra Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, because even if he is doing the bhakti, he wants politics. If he is going to visit the temple in order to pray, that will be a news. That will be a national event that Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi will be at Somnath asking and seeking the well-being of the Indian citizens. So everything happens in India with Narendra Modi is a political melodrama. So now he is on the visit. He wants to have the wants to be present in the chanting of mantras in the yatras, but no, still going there and reminding people of this. The temple was invaded, and what Congress has done, what BJP has done, what I have done. The point is, if you are there, you could have wished for the well-being of the nation, and you would have taken care of the responsibilities you have been given. You have been appointed, you have been chosen by the people of the country for creation of the jobs, for creation of the
opposition had a problem when the Prime Minister visited the Ram Mandir. The opposition had a problem when the Prime Minister is visiting the Somnath Mandir.
The problem, Pratibha, the problem of opposition with Narendra Modi is doing politics on the visits of the temple. Let him go, let him visit, let him sit for days there. If he is wishing well for the country and the countrymen, it is obviously welcomed by us. Even I, being a Muslim, I welcome Narendra Modi that he will be in the mandir. I belong from I belong from a land of Sharana Basava. I invite Narendra Modi ji to come here to visit Sharana Basava temple and be here for 2 days. At least by that time, he will be knowing what is the problem in Kalburgi, Karnataka. So let him visit all the native places nearby the Somnath temple and solve that issue. Instead going there and doing politics, it is the duty and the responsibility of Narendra Modi, instead of doing this cheap politics, what was done in the history and what was the stand of whichever party.
Happened, what is the opposition to talking about it? Ratan Shardaji, when the Prime Minister says that those who are practicing this appeasement are bowing down to extremist lobby, and the Prime Minister went on to say that even in 1951, there was a lot of opposition. Now, he didn't name Pandit Nehru, but he did go on to say that when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel pledged to rebuild the temple, there were people who were opposing it, saying that on one hand, you had attacks on the temple, and then there are others who are denying this entire history and are trying to whitewash it completely. Who is he talking about?
Well, you just read history again, and you will find out. If you read Kanhaiyalal or Maniklal Munshi, he was severely criticized. He was trying to be pulled up. He refused to get pulled up. He refused to give up the project. So we know that. We also know that how Rajendra Prasad ji was not allowed even to visit the last rites of Sardar Patel. That was all a part of history, so you can't deny that. He has just told us. But what is the important part? He has not made it the main point. His main point is that 1,000 years were not 1,000 years of slavery. They were years of continuous fighting, continuous struggle to fight with the invaders. Was Somnath the only one? There are hundreds of examples.
Yes.
I'll just give you an example of Tanjore, which was under Sarfoji Maharaj and then managed for the Hindus there. You can talk of Shivaji Maharaj, who saved temples in Goa. You can talk of Rani Ahilyabai Holkar, who rebuilt many temples. You talk of biggest example, Srinath temple. Not many people know. Srinath temple was in Vrindavan. It was taken away because Aurangzeb was after those mandirs. The murti was taken on a bullock cart all the way to Srinathji. 2.5 months it was on the road. When it got stuck there, it was the area of Maharana. And Maharana said, I will die for this. I will not allow to be touched. This is the kind of struggle that went all over Bharat. We didn't give up. We never gave up. Problem with the seculars is that their slave mentality. Their only problem with the Islam is that friendly seculars is that Hindus refuse to die. The world gave up to Islam in 70 years, 100 years, 150 years. India did not allow entry of Islam for 500 years. Then even those 1,000 years that were there, they continuously struggled, continuously fought. Is it not something to be proud of? Is it not something proud that this community refused to give up? This community refused to die? Why are seculars so shy, so shamed about this? Because of a colonial mindset. That is what is very important. That is what Modi ji talked about. Why can't they rejoice that we are also part of the same culture? Those sitting here with me, can't they understand this is a fight for survival of civilization, which never gave up when everybody gave up in the world, either to church or to Islam, and didn't Islam convert other places from church to mosque or mosque to church? Didn't Christian do it? Didn't Iran the Turkish government recently changed the museum named by the museum by Kamal Pasha, the secular leader of Turkey, to a mosque? Did anybody give a whimper? They did not. Are they making any sound about what is happening in Iran today? They are not. So what is their agenda? What is their mindset? Okay. Why can't they appreciate their own people? Because whether they have converted to Islam or whatever, they were part of the same bhumi where we refused to give up. Some of their forefathers gave, but there are people. Yes. Why should they identify with either Temurlang or Ghaznavi or whosoever? Why do they want to deny this act of bravery, this act of courage of our own people, their own people? That is my biggest worry.
Okay, there are multiple historian accounts which have spoken about how Ghazni, when he came to Somnath temple, had looted the temple, yes, but he had the option with many people who had come forward to say, don't destroy the idols in the temple. And historian accounts actually say that Ghazni wanted to be known as an idol breaker. And he said that I can't leave the idols here. And that is the fight for Sanatan that happened 1,000 years ago, which still continues. Would you say, Dr. Pooja Mishra, what is the opposition to it? Because the opposition leaders who are seen taking an anti-Hindu stance time and again, when it comes to history, why can't the opposition leaders say that this is about India's civilizational history? We are going to be in support of this movement.
I'll just continue the author's line. He said that, why can't you appreciate your own people? Why can't they appreciate their own people? Same goes with the Prime Minister. Why can't he appreciate the former Prime Minister? He was fighting against in the freedom struggle. He went to jail for several times. After his death of 64 years, I didn't interrupt you with due respect. Pratibha ji, during the struggle against the freedom struggle, he went to jail several times. He was behind the bar. We are not discussing about that. After 64 years of his death, what our Prime Minister is discussing, he is discussing that in his regime, in PM Nehru's regime, the Somnath temple was rebuilt. And he wrote letters. He wrote letters that the government funds shouldn't be involved, and not only in temple. Nehruji was his theory was that.
But the letters show that Pandit Nehru was opposed to the idea of Rajendra Prasad being a part of it.
If the Prime Minister was opposed to that, how can a Union Minister, the Munshi was Union Minister in Nehru government at that time. The author quoted him. He was Union Minister. Can you think of a situation where Prime Minister...
So you're saying that the BJP has a habit of going back to Pandit Nehru time and again. Rohan Gupta, is that the case?
I have one more.
Does the government not have anything to say for itself as is being alleged by the opposition leaders? Why bring up these old letters? The fact is that the temple was rebuilt during Nehru's time. Why is the BJP not talking about it? That's what the opposition is asking.
Pratibha ji, you should just wait for a day end for any of the Congress Darbari to prove that Congress is always for appeasement. And you have just seen Udit Raj's statement when he says that the temple was not looted and it was being made looted. So what is the statement of this Congress party? What is the mindset of Congress party? That was Modi ji spoke, that it is all about appeasement. We are now celebrating 1,000 years of Swabhiman. It's a Swabhiman Parv, where Somnath has seen the invaders. Somnath has seen everything. And what has been the mindset? In our history, you have seen these invaders have been glorified. So this is the state of the mind of the Congress party and all the opposition parties till now. And it is a history. I never spoke in between. Please. Pooja ji, बीच में मत बोलिए. बीच में मत बोलिए, Pooja ji. This is not the way. This is not the way. Let me complete. So you cannot change Pratibha ji's history. Everything is written in history. How Rajendra Prasad ji was stopped, or there was an issue from Mr. Nehru of Rajendra Prasad ji going there. It is a mindset of Congress party, and that is what Modi ji questioned.
So Dr. Pooja, we hope that even for what Udit Raj just said, there won't be opposition agreeing with what he said.
Prove their point, okay. Pratibha ji, just ask the BJP spokesperson, give one reference of the book.
Udit Raj goes on to say that temples were not just looted, they were made to be looted. We hope the opposition is not also going to be in agreement with his statement.
I don't think, Pratibha ji, now we need to talk about that 1026 when Mahmood Ghazni looted. Not only Mahmood Ghazni, Mahmood Ghori, a lot of invaders came. Even Britishers came, they ruled us, they colonized us for several years, and struggle happened, freedom struggle happened. Nehru was put behind the bar. At that time, your leaders, at that time, the BJP leaders were forming government in the Bengal Prant with Muslim League. At that time, when the Congress was fighting against the Britishers,
let me bring in Mr. Ratan Sharda here. Why is it that the Congress party finds itself in a spot, Mr. Ratan Sharda, even on an issue like this? What prompts an Udit Raj or a senior leader of the Congress party to say that the temples, and this is 1,000 years back that we're talking about, going on to say that temples were not just looted, they were made to be looted? Why whitewash the likes of Ghazni, the likes of Khilji?
I have no other answer but to say they were highly colonized. They were also enslaved by the Marxist historians who are out to prove that Mughals are very great. That Aurangzeb to topiya sil ke ghar chalata tha apna. They refuse to say that Aurangzeb sent out farmans to destroy temples. Now, what kind of a looter would do this? I'll just read another part of the day when Mahmud Ghazni did it. Pieces of idol to be broken off and sent to Ghazni. So one might be thrown at the threshold of public mosque and the other at the court door of his own palace. These identical fragments are to this day to be seen in Ghazni. 2 more fragments are reserved to be sent to Makkah, Medina. The next blow broke upon the belly of Somnath, which was hollow, which had a large quantity of diamond, rubies, pearls. So if that was only loot, why did they take the trouble of taking the stones of Shivling to be put under Makkah, Medina, to be put under a mosque in Ghazni, which was to be clean where your feet are clean, just like in Gyanvapi. You have the Shivling which was found, they called it fountain, they did wuzu there for hundreds of years and we kept quiet. So please, do not follow Marxist story and try to follow real history, which is written by our own Islamic scholars.
So Junaid ji, what is the need to whitewash Ghazni and Khilji?
Enslaved by the people who left us, who looted us.
No, I don't understand how these people get the facts and what they bring the information on the national television. Now the very new fact, the Shivling was taken from
Somnath. Junaid ji,
is not part of the same India, is not part of the same Bharat. Why is he defending the invaders?
The temples were attacked. You have Congress leaders who are coming out to defend it. What else would you say? Why whitewash even Ghazni and Khilji?
They whitewash every Mughal. Taj pe ki kaun kharcha kar raha hai?
It is not the point. It is not the point about whitewashing Ghazni.
Okay, what is it? Then tell us. Junaid ji, when Udit Raj or a Congress leader comes out to say the temples were not looted, they were made to be looted, what is he talking about?
I'll definitely come on that point too.
Okay.
But the very new fact, what came in here is Mahmud Ghazni took the Shivling from Somnath and kept it under Makkah. What is the fact? Where did it come from? What is the new history you're talking about, sir?
Al-Baruni Farishta, listen to me. Not me, it's Al-Baruni. It's Farishta.
What?
The historians
He said Ghazni took the Shivling.
You don't read history?
And kept it under Makkah.
अरे भाई अल-बरूनी ने बोला, मैंने नहीं बोला. फरिश्ता ने बोला, मैंने नहीं बोला. आपको समझ आती कि नहीं आती है? Islamic historians of those time written it. I am not written it. It is written by them. आपको नहीं पता. आप स्कॉलर मत बोलिए आप अपने आप को.
No. These are the mentality.
I agree that the idols had been broken. Yes, Dr. Nikul Patel, you heard what Udit Raj has said, and we spoke about how you claimed that the letters of Pandit Nehru shouldn't be spoken about now because the temple was rebuilt then. What about these statements that are made by leaders like Udit Raj? Dr. Nikul Patel, are you going to deny what the Congress leader said as well? Okay, all right. We'll go back to Nikul Patel. Hello. Yes, go on.
Yeah. At present, if you see, I would like to just let what Congress wants Pradhan Mantri to do. He must definitely acknowledge the people's strength from invaders, rather criticizing every Indian by putting into that frame of mind that every Indians inside the country are someone like invaders. So I think he must celebrate and make people mentally more strong by giving such processions and what he wants.
चोर के दाढ़ी में तिनका है क्या जब Prime Minister speaks about those who are anti-Sanatan, those who are speaking against it, the Congress party, the opposition leaders have an objection to it. Rohan Gupta?
That is the mindset. Even the panelist, if you see, not only Udit Raj, one of the panelists was questioning the history of Ghazni. So that's what Modi ji told. There is a requirement of change of the mindset. For so many years, we have seen appeasement mindset ruling over Sanatan, the insult of Sanatan, the glorification of the appeasement. So we need to stop that. And that's what the country loves. Country doesn't love Chunavi Hindus. Just before the election, they will go temple to temple. Country loves where ideology is.
What is your objection to it? Have we not seen multiple India bloc leaders, चाहे वो समाजवादी पार्टी से हो, चाहे वो कांग्रेस से हो, there are multiple leaders who have spoken against Sanatan. So why object to it or take take offense to it. There are leaders who to this day have spoken against Sanatan.
Who have been the part of NDA and spoken against Sanatan.
They have spoken against whom?
There are leaders who have been part of NDA and have spoken against the Sanatan.
Till now, why they haven't gone to Ram Mandir?
Wasn't Soni Prasad Moria part of BJP?
If you are in Sanatan,
Wasn't Soni
if you are
Prasad
with
Moria part of
Constitution,
BJP?
why
He
your
was
leaders
in
haven't
BJP.
gone to Ram Mandir?
He has also spoken bad things
So,
about
Mr. Ratan Sharda, is the real problem this mindset that some believe that secularism, at least in India, is about abusing Hinduism? It's not about respect for all religions. It is about taking an anti-Hindu stance. Only if you take an anti-Hindu stance, then you are secular. If the Prime Minister is wearing religion on his sleeve, then he is not secular.
Exactly. They have forgotten their own leader. Rajiv Gandhi opened the gate of Ram Mandir. He allowed foundation of the Ram Mandir. Indira ji was very openly Hindu. She did not insult Hindus to get Muslim votes. She got Muslim votes. But these people have made it a habit. They will say, जो मंदिर जाते हैं वो लड़कियां छेड़ते हैं, राम मंदिर की जरूरत क्या है, आपके दिल में राम मंदिर है, वहां अस्पताल बनाओ, वहां पर आप शौचालय बनाओ, वहां स्कूल बनाओ, भाई साहब बना लो, जब बन रही है वहां पर बाबरी बनी है कलकत्ता में, बंगाल में बना लेते आप। और आप ये कहते हैं कि मोदी जी भेष धरते हैं। भैया राहुल गांधी धोती पहन के कोट के ऊपर जब जनेऊ पहन के घूमता है मंदिरों में, दर दर ठोकरे खाता है, वहां लेटता है लंबा जा जाके, वो क्या कर रहा होता है? वो तो एक बार करता है 5 साल में, मोदी जी तो रोज करते हैं। What is your problem? What is your problem? Me asserting my religion, that somebody else can assert the religion. I cannot glorify my own struggle against invaders. अभी उन्होंने कहा हर आदमी इन्वेडर दिखता है इनको। Who is this Congress person? किसने कहा हर आदमी इन्वेडर है? I am saying something reverse. I am saying why should you people identify with the invaders? Who is our invader? What has he got? How is he related to us? They came and looted, went back. They are no more there. Our shivling is lying at 100 pieces, but you are still saying glorify them. फाउंडर बना दो ज्ञानवापी को, उनको वहां कुछ भी करने दो। अब 93 में समाजवादी पार्टी पूजा रोक देगी वहां पर ज्ञानवापी में महिलाओं की, और अब बोलेगी सेक्युलरिज्म है। ये कौन सा सेक्युलरिज्म है? केवल हिंदुओं को इंसल्ट करना, उनको एंटी हिंदू बोलना, सनातन डेंगू मलेरिया बोलना,
Is backing Ghazni and Khilji, does it become secular, and for what? This is not even vote bank politics. This is not what anyone from the country wants, that any of the political leaders are actually backing these invaders. That's not the sentiment of the people. And to the opposition leaders, you've already erred with the Ram Mandir, and this time around as well, it is for the parties to think, are they going to err again by making these statements that seem to be backing the invaders, not the valor of the people of the country? Because this is a fight for Sanatan that people have fought for 1,000 or more years, and it's only going to continue, and it's not going to be finished because of some statements of some of the leaders in the country. We'll have to leave it at that. Thanking all our esteemed guests for joining us on the broadcast. Ratan Sharda ji, Dr. Nikul Patel, Dr. Pooja Mishra, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Rohan Gupta, as well as Omer Junaidi as well. With that, it's time for us to slip into a very quick break here, but don't go anywhere, viewers. We'll be right back with what the situation is in Iran. We've seen what has happened with Venezuela. There were protests that broke out, and then it turned to a regime change. Is that what we're going to see in Iran as well? Where does the US come in? Because with Iran, there are bigger interests of India as well. We're going to be breaking down all of those details for you right back after a short break.